Need some glory. John Hader and Will Ferrell played some glory.
Terrible movie.
But we're talking about hockey, not figure skating.
We are talking about hockey.
Trade deadline talk, what's going on?
Trade deadline coming up Wednesday, 3 o'clock. Lots of things going on the local front. Not too much movement yet, but a lot of talking from all three teams on the local front, Chris Scott, and especially the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers are in limbo with their captain. They are at least a year apart and at least $1.5 million apart on contract talks. And with the trade deadline coming up, general manager and owner have to know that you can't let Ryan Callahan walk at the end of the season and find another place to sign for more money. You either need to get a deal done or you need to trade him and get something in return for him. Problem is, Ryan Callahan and his agents are greatly overestimating what he is worth. Ryan Callahan is currently asking 7 years, $6.25 to $6.5 million, which is way more than anyone should ever pay Ryan Callahan to play hockey. Ryan Callahan is a great positive to the Rangers organization. He plays well. He should be a third liner. The two people that he is sandwiched between in points over the past couple of years are getting paid $3.7 million and $3.9. If I was Dolan, if I was Sather, if I was AV, I offer Ryan Callahan. Now, Callahan's camp has said that they would come down from the 7 years to 6 years. They're okay with a 6-year deal. I would give him 6 years worth $5 million per year. That, I think, is a fair deal for what Callahan wants. They've offered him 6. This is absurd. They offered Ryan Callahan $6 million for 6 years, and he turned it down. He is not a player that should make more than that. He should make no more than 5 a year. And the fact that he's going to get 6, he should jump on that. The contracts in the NHL are just heading towards another lockout because these guys are taking such ridiculous money for the NHL standards. Now, who they would trade him to and for, there's been a lot of speculation. I haven't been following Callahan that much because I have been really trying to catch up and keep up with the Islander talks since I am an Islanders guy. But there were talks about going to Tampa Bay for St. Louis. I think those have kind of died down a little bit, thank God, because if Martin St. Louis became a New York Ranger, I might have cried like ridiculous tears for a long time. Mm-hmm. But there is a chance that Ryan Callahan will be moved before the trade deadline. Now, also, on the Islanders side, Thomas Vanek needs to go. General Manager Snow, Charles Wang, Capuano need to find a way to get rid of Thomas Vanek. If they do not trade Thomas Vanek and get something in return for him, then this trade in the beginning of the year was a huge mistake. Because there's no way he re-signs here. He's already made that fairly obvious and fairly clear that he's not going to re-sign with the Islanders. So if you just keep him for this season when we're not going to make the playoffs and let him walk, that is a big mistake.
Sense. That makes no sense. I mean, I'm not even big of a hockey fan, and I can really tell it makes no sense. Get some value for the guy.
Exactly, and he's going to get you the biggest return on that roster at the trade deadline. He is the best player we could trade. There are teams looking for his style of play to help them through the playoffs. They need to find a buyer for Thomas Vanek, and they need to do it by Wednesday. They are also looking to sell Andrew McDonald.
Now, question, with the guy with Vanek.
Yes.
Does the NHL have a thing where if you offer someone a contract where it's, what's the word? You offer them a specific contract, they decline, and another team picks them up during the offseason. Do you get any compensation of a draft pick?
No, unless they're a restricted. There's two different free agents in the NHL. There's RFAs, which are restricted free agents, and UFAs, which are unrestricted.
Yeah, they have that in every sport.
Thomas is Vanek is a UFA.
He's unrestricted, so he's young.
So it doesn't matter. No, he's older.
He's older?
Yeah, the way it works in the NHL is...
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. It's the ones that... The restricted free agents are the younger ones.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So Vanek's a UFA, so he's free to walk at the end. It's not like we have first crack at signing him.
But if they're RFAs...
Exactly.
You can get a draft pick compensation.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And depending on the difference, depends on the draft pick you get. I forget exactly how it works. But, so no, if he walks, we get nothing.
Because in Major League Baseball, there's a thing where if you give a qualifying offer, the Yankees, they gave a qualifying offer to Curtis Granderson.
And then the Mets gave him a better offer.
Since they gave Beltran the qualifying offer of a 1-year deal with the average salary of a Major League Baseball player of the active MLB roster. They gave him a qualifying offer with a specific number. Granderson wanted more. The Mets picked him up. The Yankees then got the Mets first-round pick. But then, since the Yankees got McCann, they got Beltran, they got Ellsbury, these are all guys who got qualifying offers. All those picks that the Yankees got was taken away.
Right. Now, that would have happened if he was an RFA. And you can offer sheet an RFA, which would be like... And P.K. Subban actually is a good example of this. He's going to be a restricted free agent on the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the Islanders could offer sheet him, which means they could offer him a contract. If the Montreal Canadiens match the contract, he stays a Canadian. He doesn't have a choice in it. But if the Montreal Canadiens do not want to match the Islanders' contract, then he can sign with the Islanders. The problem with that is not a lot of GMs do it because it's kind of a low ball move for a general manager to offer sheet somebody, because what it does is it forces the other team's hand. It makes the general manager say, all right, now I was only going to give him $6 million a year. Now I got to give him $7.5 million because the Islanders tried to offer sheet him at $7.5 million. So it's not something that's done very often, but it could happen.
Okay. Yeah, basically Vanek needs to be traded for this team.
Exactly. Vanek needs to go. They need to find a buyer. They should sell high, but they have to get rid of him. So if they absolutely have to settle, they have to settle. But they have to get rid of Thomas Vanek. If not, it's a huge mistake.
Settle. Settle, 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 settle.
Oh, God. But now, the Islanders also have another person that they look in the trade, and that's Andrew McDonald. Andrew McDonald's a defenseman. He's been a defenseman on the team for a while. He had his ups and downs as an Islander. This season has definitely been a monstrous down. So the Islanders are looking to get rid of Andrew McDonald here, and they need to sell high, especially with Girardi currently re-signing with the with the Rangers. That has greatly increased the market for the likes of Andrew McDonald. So look for Andrew McDonald to bring back probably a second or third round pick and a mid-B level prospect for Andrew McDonald. But the Islanders, that's something the Islanders also need to get done. Garth Snow he's on the hot seat right now. Whether he knows it or not, and whether he's on the hot seat with the organization or not, he's in the fans' hot seat, as is the entire organization. So Garth Snow needs to find a way to get both of these deals done. I think he will, but that yet's to be seen. You probably won't see a move made until, I would say, late tomorrow night, but most likely midday tomorrow. Midday Wednesday. I think the AMAC deal is going to be a last-second thing. He's going to try and hold off as long as possible and get the best possible return. The Vanek deal might come a little bit sooner. I think they're going to try and hold off as long as possible on AMAC, because AMAC is the one whose return is the most questionable. Now, the Devils, there's been rumors that the Devils may be looking to ship goaltender Martin Brodeur. There were a lot of whisperings that Brodeur was playing.
Marty!
There were a lot of whisperings that Marty was playing in his final game as a Devil when he played against the Islanders. But I can't see Marty Brodeur wearing any jersey besides a Devil jersey.
He's a Devil for life.
Exactly. So with all of that, it looks like Callahan will re-sign. The Islanders need to get rid of Vanek and AMAC. And Brodeur, I can't see him going anywhere. There's another big name on the market, though, guys, and everyone should be very afraid that he's going to go to the Penguins, because that's what seems to happen. Every year, the Penguins bring in all these big-name guys at the deadline and make a march through the playoffs, and that's Ryan Kesler of the Vancouver Canucks. Ryan Kesler is a phenomenal second-line center. He's not going to be a first-line center. That's why he'll probably go to a good team, because a good team's going to have their first line set, and they're going to need someone to bring in the depth. But I think Ryan Kesler will move by tomorrow. There's some speculation that he won't, some speculation that he will, but I think you'll see Ryan Kesler on the move by 3 o'clock Wednesday. That's your NHL trade deadline report.
All right, gotta love it. But now it's my time.